Hi, everybody. This is Sohail Khan, known as the Joint Venture Expert, and welcome to my masterclass, 7 Ways to Scale Your Business Using Joint Ventures. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, here's a brief background to myself. For most of you who know me, and for those of you guys who are on today on the masterclass that don't, my name is Sohail Khan. I'm known as the world's top joint venture expert. I've achieved over $100 million using joint ventures for both myself and my clients, and I'm going to take you through more about how I've done that and how I've managed to achieve that. I'm also an international speaker, charging $15,000 a keynote. I'm the only Brit ever to be invited to speak about the topic of joint ventures in the US. And I'm also the creator of brokeringbootcamp.com and jointventuremastermind.com, my main programs. I'm also the author of Guerrilla Marketing and Joint Ventures with my late mentor, J. Conrad Levinson, who passed away in 2014. And I also charge $30,000 a day for joint venture consulting. And I'm going to talk to you more about how that came about and how I've been able to achieve that. And I also sold my main JV consulting business for 8 figures in 2017. So I'm going to take you through my whole journey and also show you how lucrative joint venture strategies are and how I've become very successful using joint ventures, not only for myself, but also for my clients. So here's what we're going to be covering today in this masterclass. We're going to be talking about the real power of joint ventures, basically what are joint ventures and why you should use them. I'm going to also talk about the benefits of being a joint venture broker. This is something that I do, and I train joint venture brokers around the world, and I'm going to show you how amazing that concept is of actually brokering joint venture deals. I'm going to go through some real joint venture case studies, some 6, 7, and also some 8-figure case studies that you can actually apply just from watching the masterclass. I'm also going to talk you through what it takes to create a bulletproof joint venture mindset and why you need to have a joint venture mindset if you want to be successful at doing joint venture strategies. And obviously, as the masterclass says, we're also going to take you through 7 ways to scale your business using JVs. Okay, so here's the number one question that I always get asked. Sohail, what is the world's, for you, what is the most powerful business strategy that you've used? Now, for me, the world's most powerful business strategy has always been joint ventures. And people ask me, okay, what is a joint venture? So a joint venture is an arrangement of mutual benefit between 2 or more people or businesses who have complementary resources. So what does that mean? So basically, if you have, for example, a luxury bathroom tile manufacturer and a luxury bathroom suite manufacturer, now both of these companies see each other as competitors. However, they share the same complementary resources. They actually share the same customer base. Now, when you have more than 2 people in an arrangement, the third person is known as a joint venture broker, something that I do myself by putting these 2 companies together, forming a partnership, creating a joint venture deal, and making money off the sales from that deal. So this is why joint ventures are very, very lucrative. Another question I want to ask is, what do you think is a business's most valuable asset? Some people say, well, it's customers. Some people say it is the list. Some people say it's the business. So you must have heard of the saying, the money is in the list. Well, actually, the money is in the relationship you have with your list or customers. So the relationship between a business owner and customers is the most valuable asset that can be leveraged. Now, here's the thing. This is also a very valuable asset known as goodwill. And when a business is sold, this asset is valued on the balance sheet. Now, here is something interesting. It costs 6 times as much to sell to a new buyer. So to acquire a new customer will cost you 6 times actually to basically the cost of acquisition is basically 6 times as much to acquire a new buyer. However, if you acquire the new buyer and you sell to them again, then it's pure profit. Okay, so selling to the same customer again is pure profit. However, it costs you nothing if you use other businesses' resources and sell to other businesses' customers, okay? And they do all the marketing and the promotion. It's costing you 0 to actually acquire new customers, right? And more of the profit is yours because there's no advertising cost. So this is really how powerful joint ventures are. And one of the things that I always do with clients is I come across clients who spend so much money on, let's say, for example, Facebook ads or Google ads, And our main aim working with clients is always to bring the actual advertising costs down to zero and have them to be more reliant on free, no money marketing strategies like joint ventures. So let's look at some of the benefits of using joint ventures. Number one, it allows you to compensate weak areas in your business without nominal investment. What does that mean? So basically, if you have a company and you're doing very well on sales, and you want to invest in a new call center, but for you it's a catch-22 because you're growing, but you don't have the funds available to make that investment. Well, you can approach another company that has an underutilized call center, for example, and you can get them to provide that resource to you for free in return for a percentage of sales made using that resource. So this is one of the most powerful things about joint ventures. It also allows you to take advantage of unlimited complementary skills and resources. So what does that mean? Once you've created one joint venture strategy or you've implemented one joint venture deal, you can take that deal and replicate it again and again and again unlimited times. It also allows you to boost your lead and client generation profits very quickly. One of the great things that we found with joint ventures is it allows us to create a tap where you can open the tap and you can generate unlimited leads, okay? And you can generate unlimited clients, unlimited leads, and the cost of that acquisition upfront is basically zero because you're using other people's and other businesses' resources. It also allows you great branding potential for free. I'll talk to you more about this in terms of how I became known as the #1 joint venture expert in the world by collaborating and creating partnerships with thought leaders in the industry, which in turn created great branding for myself, which basically cost me nothing just because I collaborated and partnered with some very well-known thought leaders. And also, the #1 thing allows you to make money out of thin air. And I'm going to prove this to you that actually it does do what it says on the tin by showing you and sharing with you a few case studies as we go along. So let's just touch upon quickly the benefits of being a JV broker. Now, I am a JV broker. I make lots of money by simply being a middle person. That's what I do. And basically, I don't spend years building a customer list or even creating my own products. I don't keep track of sales, chase people, or fulfill product orders. I don't even have employees. I basically just step in, leverage other businesses' resources, and make huge profits by bringing people together. So if you're really good at networking, if you're really good at putting people together, if you're really good at building a network and you have access to your own network, brokering joint ventures is ideal because it doesn't require you to actually have employees, products. It doesn't allow you to, it doesn't require stock. It doesn't require anything really, just the ability to be able to broker deals and put companies together and basically make huge profits by creating those joint venture deals. So it's pretty lucrative. Okay, so before we go on to the actual masterclass, I want to just take you guys back and give you a brief introduction to my background and how I became very well known in the field of joint ventures and strategic alliances. So, and I'm hoping some of you may be inspired from this also. And if I've inspired you today, then I've pretty much done my job. So this is me in 2006. I built a very successful 8-figure business using just joint ventures. When I was very young, and as most of us do, young kids, we put posters on our wall of supercars. I had pictures of red Ferraris basically on my wall, and my dream was one day to own a shiny red Ferrari, which I accomplished in 2006 after building and selling my first 8-figure business. I also lived in a 15-bedroom mansion, and that was, for me, one of the pinnacles of my success back in 2006. And then in 2008, we had the dreaded recession, and I ended up basically losing everything. I went from being a multi-millionaire to totally broke within a very short space of time. And obviously, I'm going to tell you and talk you through exactly how that came to be. And then fortunately in 2009, I set myself a challenge to make $1 million in 12 months. And I basically closed a $1.5 million deal in the space of 30 days. And that was just one joint venture deal, which was basically very lucrative. And that basically put me back on the map. So let me just take you back and just take you through my background and show you what's really possible using the power of joint ventures. So I originally trained as an accountant. That was my main profession. My parents wanted me to become a professional. It was either a choice between being a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, or an astronaut. I was afraid of heights, so I ruled out becoming an astronaut. I was good at numbers. I used to enjoy that when I was at school. And I decided to go in the field of accountancy. And I got a job with one of the top financial accounting firms in London, one of the top 5. And I spent a bit of time there, and I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest with you. I was stuck in a tax division. It was so boring, but I always felt that there was more to my life than just sitting in an office counting numbers. So I was only there for a few months, and basically my supervisor said to me, "Look, you are really good at computers and IT. You seem to know what you're doing. You have a knack for it. You're showing other people how to use computers. How come you didn't go into IT?" So I thought about it. I said, you know what? I do enjoy it, and I think that's what I want to pursue. So I left a job with one of the top 5 accounting firms, and I did a master's in international business with IT. And this was back in 1996. And I wrote a thesis on the impact of the internet on the manufacturing industry, because the internet was something that was coming into fruition. It was new. People wanted to find out what this internet thing was, and a lot of talk was it's going to destroy the manufacturing industry. So I wrote a thesis based on that for my master's, and my professor basically posted my thesis online. As you know, if you've been around as long as I have, we had no, Google wasn't around until '98. So before '98, we had things called bulletin boards. So my professor posted my thesis onto bulletin boards, and I started to get calls and emails from venture capital firms, .com companies saying, "Hey, we read your thesis with great interest. Could you come out and talk to us about this thing called the internet, and how do you think it will help our business?" So straight after that, I went out as an internet consultant, consulting with some very big companies, .coms, VC firms. One of my first clients was a very small company called QVC.com. They just launched an e-commerce site, and I was one of the consultants for that startup. So it was a great time. From '96 to '98, we were consulting, and very lucrative contracts, 25, 50,000, 50K contracts for being an internet consultant. And one of the things that we did for our clients is that we created a case study. We set up a one-page website, and we were selling computer training courses via PDF. So Google launched in '98. We were number 1 on the search engines, and we were getting sales coming in every day like clockwork. So right now, e-commerce is a big thing. We were doing that back in 96, 97, actually '98. So we launched that site. It was automated. We used to use that as a case study. We used that to get up from the door with clients. But then in 2000, the .com bubble burst, and we also had Y2K. So we had a double whammy in 2000. We not only lost a lot of our clients who had no more funding for marketing .coms, but also because we were internet consultants, we were to blame for Y2K. So early 2000, we had to decide, okay, what do we do now? We can't go back out there in the computer consulting space because there's no jobs, there's no work. What do we do? So we had this small website making money, a computer training website. We decided to focus on that. So as you seeing right now in the current economy we're in, it's all about pivoting, right? So we were doing one thing, consulting, computer consulting, which basically got killed in early 2000. But we had an asset that we could leverage, and we decided to pivot the business, right? We decided to pivot and say, hey, let's go and do this online computer company, computer training company. Let's see what we can do with that. So early 2000, I came across a book which you might want to write down. It's called How to Get Everything You Can Out of What You've Got by Jay Abraham. And basically, Jay Abraham basically is one of my mentors. So in Jay's book, he wrote that you could easily go out and get other companies to promote for you without paying any money up front, and it was called a joint venture, basically. So I thought, this is interesting. I'd love to do this. So early 2000, I contacted one of the largest IT recruitment companies in Europe, and I said, hey, I can help you create an additional revenue stream without increasing your overheads. Is that something that you'd be interested in? And they said yes. So I got an invitation to go and see this company in Regent Street in central London. We sat in an office with all the directors on a boardroom table, and they asked me, okay, look, how are you going to create an additional revenue stream for us without increasing our overhead? I said, well, it's pretty simple. It's called a joint venture. So I began to ask them how many people they had on their customer database. They said they've got about 100,000 IT professionals. So I said, well, at the moment, there is no work. There are no jobs for IT professionals. So that is your main income stream, and that's going to dry up. So I said, if you promoted our online computer training courses to your IT consultants, we would give you a cut for every sale you make. So, and then we asked them, what are you currently doing right now in terms of marketing? They said, well, we send a newsletter out to them every 2 weeks. I said, there you go. I said, you're already doing marketing, so there's no increase in overhead. Just put a banner in your current newsletter, and anyone who clicks that banner and purchases from us, we have an affiliate program set up. We can give you statistics, and we can give you sales stats, and then every month we'll just cut you a check. So that was my first ever joint venture with a large company, and that was fantastic. The first year of our little computer training website, I think we did about 50,000 in the first year organically. And basically, with this one joint venture, our turnover went from 50,000 up to close to around 350,000. So that was a significant jump, which cost us nothing up front, no marketing cost whatsoever. And basically, I was hooked. So fast forward to 2002, the whole landscape changed, and a lot of companies were now doing e-learning. And the funny thing is, e-learning right now is big, but we were doing e-learning back then in sort of early 2000. E-learning back then in 2000 was very expensive. It was all basically video based and computer graphic based, and it was very expensive to produce an e-learning course. So we looked at the costings, and a lot of our competitors had over 150 titles. And we said we can't compete with that, because that'll bankrupt us. That'll cost us a bomb. So again, I went back to the book, Jay Abraham, and Jay said another concept called licensing. You could basically go and acquire the rights to something that's proven and tested, and put your own label on it, and put your own brand on it, which is a white label. So we found a company in Clearwater, Florida, who had over 150 titles for courses. And I reached out to them and said, hey, we'd like to get a license to sell your courses exclusively in UK and Europe. They said, that's fine, we can do that, but it's going to cost you 100,000 for the license. So I said, okay, look, I don't really want to spend any money. So what do we do here? So we decided basically to strike a deal. I flew to Clearwater, Florida, armed with $10,000. And I sat down with the CEO. She was a female CEO, owned the company, very successful e-learning company based in Florida. And I literally said to her, look, let's do a deal. I can guarantee you I'll make you more than $100,000 within a short space of a couple of months if you let us have the license. And as a goodwill gesture, I'll give you a down payment of $10,000 to get started. So we did that. I flew back to the UK, and now we had 160 titles, all in our name, all branded. And that year, we actually hit 7 figures in turnover. And the investment for that 7 figures was just $10,000. So you see, I'm all about leverage, right? Everything that I do in business and in life is all about leverage. Taking something and basically, like they say, not only 10xing it, but 100xing it, okay? And leveraging a current asset that either you have or a client has to make 100 times what you could from it normally. That's the power of joint ventures and obviously licensing. So fast forward now to 2006, which you can see here, me standing in front of my shiny red Ferrari. We now had a very successful 7-figure business, and I was reading the Financial Times Fast Track, which is a magazine that showcases the top 100 fastest growing companies, and we came across a company that basically had over 500,000 customers. It was a software-based, it was a hardware-based, computer hardware company. We were computer software, so we were doing e-learning software, and they were doing computer hardware. So we thought to ourselves, this is really, really interesting. So we decided to basically do a deal with them, and they basically offered to buy our company. So they made an offer. and we sold a majority stake to them. They were a 9-figure business, and so I sold a majority stake to them. And now basically I sat on the board of a 9-figure company, and we all became multi-millionaires. But then in 2008, we had the dreaded recession. Basically, the company that bought our business went into liquidation. They basically went bust. So when that happened, I ended up losing everything. I went from multi-millionaire to totally broke. Okay, and then it was a very depressing time for me. I was still trying to get back on my feet, trying to figure out what to do. And then basically I set myself a challenge, and I said, look, I've done joint ventures before. To get back on my feet, I'm going to do a couple of joint venture deals, and I'm going to make $1 million and get back on my feet. But I was very fortunate enough that in 2009, I actually did one joint venture deal that made me just over $1.5 million. And I'm just going to take you through now exactly what I did and how I created that deal and how I got that deal done. So I'm going to quickly just go through it now and show you the $1 million joint venture deal in 30 days. So here's what I did. I found a list of 400,000 buyers that basically bought a book called How to Use Your PC in 2 hours. And I contacted the company with a JV proposal. I said, hey, I have a video-based training course. What if you were to upsell that to your existing buyers who bought 400,000 copies of the book? They said yes, they were interested in doing the deal. So basically, I ended up creating a video using elance.com, which is now Upwork, and it cost me $500 to create the actual video course based on the book. So I took that and I basically licensed the product back to the list owners who bought of the book, and my cut was $7.50 per unit sold without handling any fulfillment. They wanted to charge $20, and I said, look, give me $7.50 for the actual product. You do all the selling, the marketing, and I would just take my cut from that product. So basically, we ended up doing a total of 201,000 units of the actual video course, which we upsold to the 400,000 buyers of the book. And I collected just over 1.5 million as my JV commission on that deal. And like I said, licensing is the most lucrative joint venture that you can ever do. I've done a couple of other deals in the space. I worked with a couple of internet marketers as well, and we created some joint ventures. We did a couple of launches. On this one launch here, we've made over $4 million. And like I said, doing joint ventures is very, very lucrative. You know, I've been paid $30,000 for doing JV consulting in the US. The US is my core market. You know, I was very fortunate enough to buy a 5-figure Valentine's gift for my then fiance using one joint venture deal. We launched a new business in Dubai, lived on the Palm, and basically had no idea how to do business in Dubai, but we just did one joint venture with a conference company, and that helped us launch a 6-figure business. Also, it allows me to spend time with my family. That's my son Harry playing on the beach. And like I say, in 2017, I finally sold my JV consulting business for 8 figures and retired for a year, only to come back out of retirement in 2019. So let's go through the joint venture mindset quickly. If you don't have the right success mindset, then you are destined to fail. Visualization is the best means of manifesting successful outcome. So if you want to attract the energy of opportunity and success, then you should use affirmations like, I'm the right person, in the right place, at the right time, doing the right things with the right people, or I'm aware of and open to unlimited joint venture opportunities, and I'm involved in the best high-level joint venture opportunities. As I say, always see yourself as adding value to others. Okay, so let's go through now the top 7 ways to scale your business using JVs. Okay, number 1, online. Okay, this is the easy one. You find someone with a complimentary product or newsletter and you contact them to promote your product or bundle it with their own. This can be done through emailing each other's lists via a link on their newsletter or website. This is the easiest way to get started, a very simple way to get started with joint ventures. Okay. Number 2, licensing. Now, licensing is very cool. You can make money instantly by buying or owning the rights to those things that are proven because it's already been tested and you don't need to spend time and energy to prove that it would actually sell. You can also charge people a royalty fee for the rights to your product and make money hands-free. This is one of the quickest ways to make millions. Okay, number 3, distribution. Now, here's the thing. If you find a distributor that has an existing sales channel, then you can find a good quality target product. You take a cut on every sale made on both sides with a simple deal. Another thing you can also do is negotiate exclusively if the product owner doesn't have any kind of affiliate programs in place. Like I say, always control the distribution and then you control the money. Number 4, product creation. You can approach people with great products that aren't electronic and offer to transcribe their product for them. This is a great way. As you can see, I did creating the video product out of a book, making $1.5 million. That way you can also sell it as an electronic product and with JV partners and ask for a percentage of sales on that. You can create literally 6 figures with this strategy. Strategy number 5, upselling. You show other companies how they can upsell other products or services to increase the average unit of purchase. You go out and find other products for a cut. Every company needs an upsell strategy. Okay. Strategy number 6, reactivating inactive buyers. This is a really cool one. Customer attrition is the amount of customers that businesses lose every year, usually around 20%. Businesses are so busy looking for new customers that they lose existing customers and don't even know it. Now, here's the thing. Here's what you do. You can get together with other businesses and offer them your products or services to reactivate dormant customers for percentage of the profits. Remember what I told you before, it costs 6 times as much to get new customers. And finally, strategy number 7, okay, of the 7 ways to scale your business using JVs, unconverted leads. This is a really cool one. Let's say company A gets 5,040 leads a month. They convert 15% of them. What should they do with the other 4,250 unconverted leads that cost them money? Here's what you do. You get them to an endorsed joint venture campaign to promote your product to their unconverted leads that they're not purchased and split the profits. Because there's so much abundance for leads for everybody. So I'll give you one classic example before we finish up. We used to run an online training company and we used to get a lot of leads for people who wanted customer-based training. So what we did was we went to, which other people would say were competitors, we went to classroom-based training providers, and we actually basically swapped leads with them. So this is a great way to do that. So let's go to a quick Q&A. So let's have a look. Questions from the consultants out there. How do I attract joint venture business? Okay, so how do I attract joint venture business partners? So this is quite simple. You have to first of all try and identify who are your ideal joint venture partners. And I provide a template for this. I mean, and you know, if you reach out to me on Facebook or on LinkedIn, I have a template that you can use to go out and approach joint venture business partners for that. But identifying them first is the main thing. Who are the complementary joint venture business partners? The way I do this is very simple. Let's say you sell a widget, okay? You've got to look at what your customer buys before they buy your widget and what the same customer buys after they buy your widget. Now, whatever the customer buys before your widget and after your widget, those are your ideal complementary products or services, and those are your ideal joint venture business partners. Someone says here, how do I attract my first client without a track record? Very simple. Do you remember the first JV that I ever did with the IT recruitment company in Regent Street? They never knew who I was. I have a brand now, and I'm very well known. But you can approach companies without a track record. You just got to make sure that your proposition helps them. It's always what's in it for them. They'll always say what's in it for us. So make sure that your proposition actually helps them first and then helps you. Someone says, how do I stand out from other coaches and consultants out there? I think everyone's unique. Everyone has a unique set and a unique skill. So if you are very well known in a particular industry, then you reach out to people in that same industry, okay, to collaborate with. That's one of the best ways you can do it. Any more questions? So we see, how do I, that's it. Okay, brilliant. I think that's it, guys. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my fast today. And like I say, just type my name into Google, Sohail Khan JV, and you'll find me. Reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I'll send you out that JV agreement template that you can use also. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much. Take care.